Welcome back to our channel, that is Ajay Kumar Yadav, and today we are going to present with a very new topic, that is different types of graphs. So today also we are going to discuss different types of graphs. In these different types of graphs, we are going to talk about acceleration time graph, acceleration as well as the time graph. So you might be knowing that what is acceleration and what is time graph. So in the acceleration time graph, let us talk about the very first part and the diagrammatic section and the explanation of this acceleration time graph. Since we know that this is an x component, so it is a time, and this is the y-axis, so it is related to the acceleration. And the next thing we are going to talk about is, this is the axis which is nothing but O to A. So let us define this graph by means of a certain point. So what is the first point we are going to discuss? That is nothing but when the body is moving with a constant acceleration. When the body is moving with a constant acceleration. When the body is moving with a constant acceleration, we can say that second point, it is parallel to time axis. It is obviously parallel to time axis. If it is parallel to time axis means, if it is parallel to time axis, then what will happen to the next point? If it is parallel to time axis, then it is also considered as the we can say that velocity is also zero there. And since it is parallel to time axis means we can say that obviously there is a no change. Acceleration remains constant. Acceleration remains constant. It is parallel to time component or it is parallel to time axis. Let us draw the second type of the graph with respect to acceleration and the time there. So in the second type of graph, this is my x component and this is my y component. In the x component we are going to talk about the time, and in the y component we are going to talk about the acceleration. So here we can say that it is a straight line graph, and obviously this is origin, this is A. So the very first point we are going to discuss is nothing but acceleration of the body is increases. Acceleration, here we can say that acceleration of the body increases. If the acceleration of the body is increases, we can obviously say that it is inclined to the time axis. It is inclined to the time axis. Inclined to the time axis. So if it is inclined to the time axis, then the slope of the graph is velocity. Then what we can say that it is inclined to the time axis and the graph AT graph is a straight line. Obviously AT graph is a straight line. Obviously we can say that AT graph is a straight line. AT graph is a straight line. Next. So that's all about this graph. If you want to include few more points, you can add that it is inclined to the time axis and acceleration of the body increases uniformly with the time. Acceleration of the body increases uniformly with the time. Even you can add this word also. Uniformly with the time. This component also you can add up there. The next question, in the last but not the least section you can add to this graph is nothing but the acceleration time graph. See here we are going to talk about the x component, here we are going to talk about the y component, and obviously the graph is behaving like in this fashion. So obviously if the graph is behaving in this fashion, you can say that it is region 1, this is obviously region 2, and this is obviously region 3. So what else can we write here? When the body is moving with a variable acceleration, point number 1. when the body is moving with the variable acceleration. When the body is moving with the variable acceleration. If it is moving with the variable acceleration, then what else we can say that AT graph is a curve. Obviously, it is quite normal that AT graph, acceleration time graph, is a curve. The next point we can represent here is nothing but next the area between the AT graph and the time axis gives the change in the velocity. The area between the acceleration time graph, the area between the acceleration time graph and the time axis is, and the time axis is area between the acceleration time graph and the time axis gives the change in velocity, gives obviously change in the velocity. So we will recapitulate the point again. So this is the different types of graphs, that is acceleration time graph. Obviously it is parallel to x-axis and the motion of the body, acceleration is constant. Similarly, you can say that this is a slope between O to A, which is an inclined to the surface and which is inclined to the time axis. Acceleration of the body increases uniformly with time, inclined to the time axis. This is also called as the straight line graph. Next we have a graph called as third type of graph in the region 1, region 2, region 3, and the body is moving with a variable acceleration. AT is a curve, or area between the acceleration time graph is an nothing but change in velocity. So that's all about this today's session for the acceleration time graph for recapitulation. If you have any queries, don't forget to comment on the sections. If you find any difficulty or debatable types of questions, please don't forget to type the comment. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thanks a lot.